Hi, Berna. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure thing. My name is Berna, obviously. I am from South Africa, although I've lived the majority of my adult life in the Middle East, in Qatar and in Dubai. I love everything to do with people's practice, recruitment specifically, and here I am.
How long have you been here at Elysian and what is your role?
I've been with Elysian for a couple of weeks now. My role is head of talent, and talent encompasses everything from recruitment, onboarding, and then being with that person throughout their journey. So, touching on elements of engagement, performance improvement, those sort of things.
So, what inspired you to work in talent management?
To be honest, I fell into it. A friend recommended me as a resourcer. A resourcer is really starting at the bottom level of as a recruiter. I've always been working with people, dealing with people, people orientated. So it just seemed like a really good spot to go from. And then I grew my journey from there.
What advice would you give someone looking to grow their career in HR?
Good question. I think a lot can be said from understanding the basics and the foundations and building yourself up. HR is so wide. There are many facets that go into it. You know, there's organizational development, HR generalist, talent, legal side of it, performance. So you want to understand really where your passions lie, in which area. L&D is another one, learning and development. So you can really branch off and focus on an area. So I think really try to understand the different areas that there are and focus in and hone in on a few. It's not to say that you have to only do one. There can be many that you can focus on. And then build yourself up. Absorb information from your leaders and from your mentors and from people in your group and become a really well-rounded version the more you grow within your career. Yeah.
What's the most rewarding part of your role at Elysian?
Seeing people's success, where they are when they first start to where they are when you're still currently working with them or their journey between. I love seeing a person's evolution and maybe being part of that evolution, helping them along.
What's one challenge you face in managing and nurturing talent?
For sure, it is maintaining motivation, especially when a person is incredibly talented, but their pipeline is a little bit long. I mean, real estate is a long game, and we always try to set expectations in the interview process already. And then maintaining that motivation is celebrating the small wins. You know, your pipeline, a deal can take weeks, sometimes months to actually come to flourish. So you want to celebrate those small wins, especially with people who are starting off new. That first listing, as many phone calls in a day, or first viewing, you know, those milestones to get you to that first transaction. It's really important to celebrate and to keep the person motivated and engaged. So whatever you can do to keep employee engagement up, which is my job.
So, being a mom, 12 years of experience, what has it taught you?
Patience. It's given me a lot of patience and objectivity. I think that is a key thing, objectivity. Don't sweat the small stuff. There is a bigger picture. Sometimes people can get hung up on details. Not necessarily a bad thing, but a bit too much hung up on details. So I think objectivity, patience, and perseverance, definitely.
What's one success story in talent management at Elysian that you're proud of?
I'm very proud of my colleague, Laura. Obviously, she's working before I joined, but witnessing her evolution, as I spoke about before, seeing a person's evolution is great. And Laura's just fantastic. And I think October was one of her best months with us. So just witnessing that and seeing her success story with her journey with Elysian has been amazing.
And what advice would you give someone looking to grow their career in HR?
HR is very broad, people's practice. So there's elements of being a generalist, performance improvement, rewards recognition, employment law. It's vast. I think it's such a great role to get into if you like people and if you like, you know, getting down to the nitty-gritty. HR is kind of the glue that keeps the company together. And if you are this kind of person that gravitates naturally towards this, then go for it and then find out which elements you gravitate towards, because then you would want to focus on those in your role in HR. And I think don't skip the important milestones.
What are 3 things that give you an ick in an interview?
I think being too informal. I got called mate the other day, and that was a bit weird. I was like, don't know you, but okay. Being unkept. So if a person comes to the interview and they're really not dressed well. And I'm not talking about being a little informal, there's casual Fridays that happen. I mean, like just really unkept. And for me personally, smelling like cigarette smoke, don't like it.
If you could implement one change in any company instantly, what would it be?
Fairness. I think there's so many companies that don't treat their employees fairly or vice versa, So I think that maybe a little bit more empathy and fairness.
How do you unwind after a busy week at work?
On a Friday, I really, really like to have a clean house. So I'll make sure that my house is clean. Just can't relax unless my house is clean. Kids are in bed, and just either reading a book, whatever book I'm busy reading at that stage, with a glass of wine, or having a catch-up session with my husband. So just Friday nights are really quiet family nights, or, by myself with my book, one of the two, and then get ready for the craziness of the weekend with 2 kids.
What's one fact about you that most people don't know?
I'm a farm girl originally. I grew up in South Africa in a province called Northwest Province, Rustenburg, and I stayed on a farm with 2 mountains. We used to go hiking. My backyard was a mountain. Yeah, I grew up on a farm.
So we're moving on to the last section of this interview. These are going to be some would you rather questions.
Okay.
Would you rather be rich working a job you hate or poor working a job you love?
Oh, man. Poor working in a job that you love.
Would you rather have super sensitive taste buds or super sensitive hearing?
Super sensitive hearing.
Would you rather manage a large team remotely or a small team in the office?
Small team in the office.
Would you rather oversleep every day for a week or not get any sleep at all for 4 days?
My hidden talent, scratch what I said before, I can operate with no sleep for days on end.
Oh, God.
So that is my
Okay.
answer.
Would you rather never get stuck in traffic ever again or never get sick again?
Dream. Never get stuck in traffic again. I can always medicate.
Okay.
Always.
Okay. Would you rather be locked for a week in a room that's overly bright or a room that's totally dark?
Oh, totally dark.
Would you rather only be able to wash your hair twice a year or only be able to check your phone once a day?
Check my phone once a day.
Oh, God, really? Okay, and last one. Would you rather have a never-ending to-do list or an inbox that never stops filling?
I feel like both of those are true. A never-ending to-do list.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Berna. That was great.